It always comes to this. More nice shit. Morning guys, back into another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I showed off this chunk in here that Rick and I further defined here just Monday. So I guess it was 5 days ago now, believe it or not. Time goes by very quickly as it's never really slowing down. It keeps speeding up on us, eh? Yeah, this is all healed up now. It's been peeled for like 2 or 3 days. And it's got that kind of dry, thick, healing texture. And people still ask me if the texture of my skin has changed with all of the layers. But realistically, once it's fully peeled, it's basically the same as always. So it did stay pretty good, like I expected it to. And especially the stuff that we did up here, the addition. This was all just kind of another pass. But all of this texture up here wasn't done before. So that came out really nice, but the texture that we have in here is much sharper than last time. So as I said, it was going in a little easier, and it seems to have healed better. And yeah, so looks pretty good. We're going to be tackling this inside chunk, maybe a little bit down into here, this coming Monday. So probably another couple hours. Believe it or not, whenever we do something like that, it's usually 2.5 to 3 hours work. All of that shit is incredibly small mags, and I think Brick does most of it with an 11 liner and a 7 mag. So it's tight needle groupings to get into those things, and whenever you're working in such small clusters, things just take a long time, and you save a lot of time when you can use big mags and things. That should go without saying, but most people don't know anything about any of that, and they don't understand why certain things take the amount of time they take and why some things go really quickly. Like, it's Big Bold will go much, much faster. If you're interested in getting a piece that's very, very quick and also readable, bigger and bolder is probably better. If you want something super elaborately detailed, however, it's going to take you a really long time. It just is what it is. And then obviously reeling long time is it's going to scale with the medium, right? So for anything over black, if you want that, it's going to take even longer. That should go without saying once again. But anyway, I had another session with Terry yesterday, and I was hoping we would finish it all up, but we didn't. And I guess it was a fairly ambitious goal anyway, considering I wanted another full pass of my back after it had been settled since July here. Believe it or not, it's been this video probably going up February, but we're in the middle of December. I think it's December 14th today, and I didn't know exactly how much work there would be in the back, but it's one of those things where once you do one part of it, you got to do the rest of it. And so it starts out with the mindset of like, oh, the blue needs to be done and maybe some highlights. And it very quickly becomes, oh, well, we may as well just redo the whole thing. So to redo the whole thing in 2 sessions is a big ask. And we did end up putting in around 11 hours on it over the 2 sessions. But we'll be doing one more in January. But we got it to a place where I'm pretty happy with it. And like realistically, like the last session that we did made a huge difference in the overall clarity of the back piece in general. And like, you guys will probably find this exhausting to watch, let alone imagine going through. But what ends up happening is, and I've explained this before, but when you come back into these pieces after they've settled, what you end up getting is a healed result that's better than the fresh result was the first time. So for example, I used the eye on my shoulder here as a reference for that last time. But you have to wait. Like, there's no sense just beating it over and over again. What's important early on with these pieces is to get them established, get them solid so that You know, they are what they are, that the image isn't going to change that much. And then later down the road, you come back in. When the color has settled in, it's less like color on black and more like color on color. And you get a better result. It's more of a true to form result rather than having to contend with putting something in over a darker surface or a darker mix of ink or whatever you want to call it. The ink is all lightened up, and it is more conducive to change from that point on. So Rick has even found that he can easier cover black with darker tones, and then from there lighten the tones down the road. So if you go in with a dark blue, wait for that to heal, and then come in with a light blue, and you get a lighter blue. It's kind of counter to what you think. Sometimes the light tones are a little bit hard to get in there at first, but once you have a foundation to work off of, it is easier to brighten things up. So this is again where when people will say layering is not good, or you'll have tattooers that will tell you that it's not good to tattoo something more than once. These are nitwits. They should be not listened to. There are certain effects you cannot achieve, especially with cover-ups, in one session. It's impossible. There's only a certain amount of ink that you can saturate into something, and if there's already a base of ink in there, then it may take more than one time to get that new ink that you're putting in there fully saturated, because there's something else already there. I do agree that you can only have so much ink in the skin to some degree, but what ends up happening is if you dump enough of any color into another color, eventually that color becomes dominant in the blend or mix of the ink that's under the skin, and then it all breaks down in conjunction. So I probably actually don't have any more ink physically in my body than I did when I was fully blacked out. It's just that the ink that is in there is more predominantly colored than it is black in certain areas. And that makes all the difference, right? Because the ink is always breaking down. We're just changing what color the ink is. And it's not like it just dries in our skin and that's it. Like some people seem to think. They think it's like painting a wall or something. And once that layer is dried, that's it. And you're just touching the surface layer. That's not how anything works. I've heard all kinds of boneheaded explanations, and my body has stood in opposition to pretty well all of them. And I'm brought up frequently when people say these things now, and there really is never a good defense. Like they just they don't answer it, or they treat it like it's just fairy tales, anecdotal nonsense, it's all edited. Or in the rare cases, I've even been suggested to be an AI creature. Like, there are AI influencers out there these days. I see them all the time. Most of them are just dancing, though, and putting on outfits, right? That's predominantly what the AI influencers are. They're pretty girls with face swaps and, yeah, dancing and trying on outfits. Like I said, there's a lot of those now. So, and it is what it is. We're in a weird time, but I am not AI. And trust me, if I was an AI generation, I wouldn't have such a big fucking schnoz, by the way. My wife and I just did my most recent Christmas reel, and we had a lot of fun with my big nose. But trust me, if I was to be a fully edited AI creature, you wouldn't give me the issues that I have, and I wouldn't be aging, and you also wouldn't be able to see real-time development in my tattoo work. It's crazy that I even have to say these things, but I'm not kidding. Like, I am not kidding. People have suggested I am an AI, and I don't actually exist. And it's crazy to me that we can have people this dumb. Especially, you would think that we'd be getting, with all the technological advancement we have, you'd think we'd be getting smarter in 2024, not dumber. But I think we're regressing in a bad way. So, anyway, I'll stop yammering and show it off, and then I can talk about it a little bit. So hopefully that does it. So the main focus we had was we wanted to start with the blue, because the blue is in the worst shape of the whole thing. light colors are hard, like I said. Lots of people would think that the lightest colors are the easiest, and that's not really the case. You need deep colors. So the blue has been the main target for me, right? We also did the horns and more of the facial features, but the fur, all the hair down on the bottom, and then the very bottom left of the cloak, I think it's the left, I can't see it right now, is still needing to be done. My skin started kind of fighting with Terry after about 4.5 hours. It was getting pretty tight, and I was just happy that we did the blue first because the blue needed the most work, and it made a dramatic difference. Now, I staged this out pretty methodically, and I can be a bit of a sentimentalist. I wanted this piece to be fully refreshed for Christmas here. I am a very traditional person with Christmas. I'm not Christian. If you had to give my belief system any kind of title, it would probably be absurdist. At one point, I probably tended more towards nihilism in my youth, but as the older I get, the less I feel that way inclined. I have no issues with people being religious. I'm not Satanist, as some people have asked me or lobbed at me. Some religious people have asserted that I am satanic, but I'm not. I have no satanic inclinations at all. I celebrate Christmas, and we go pretty crazy for Christmas. Like my son, my wife, and I, we all go for a Christmas lights drive. We do the Christmas Eve gift opening, like one gift each, and we do a big time Christmas morning. We have like 3 Christmas dinners with different segments of our families, and there's like 80 something gifts under our tree right now. We watch Christmas movies. I love all of that shit. When I grew up, we grew up really, really fucking poor in my family. No one had anything in my family tree. And so the only time you got anything new or cool was Christmas. My mom always made an effort to make sure everyone had Christmas of some kind, even though she didn't have much. And I mean, we were dirt poor. As it stands, I'll be the most financially successful member of my family that has been in probably hundreds of years. My mom and dad have both, over their lives, committed bankruptcy and filed for bankruptcy. And my dad took his own life in 2015. My mom and my stepdad are still poor. They still borrow money from me sometimes. This is the only reason why I'm bringing this up is because the one time of the year that they always got right was Christmas. They always made sure that their kids had something under the tree. And so that formed in me the notion that I would do that with my son. And we've had new traditions since. The Krampus back piece in particular, we watched the Krampus movie when Ivan was a lot younger. And I thought it would be a cool tradition to keep. And we did St. Nicholas Day, especially since my wife is German descent and her family all knew about Christmas or Krampus when she was young. It strikes me that a lot of people don't even know about Krampus now, which is insane. But we did St. Nicholas Day, and we told Ivan about Krampus all year. You got to be good, or Krampus will come boil you, or beat you with reeds, or whatever. And it was always just kind of a fun thing. And he got a little boot with candy and toys next to his door when he woke up. But there was a couple of years where we even put hoof prints out in the snow, and I would drag chains around at night when he was in bed, and all of these things. And also, my wife has always got me all these Krampus Christmas sweaters. And so we've already done it this year. We did our Krampus Christmas picture under the tree where we all wear Krampus sweaters. And yeah, we do all kinds of shit for Christmas. So I've had so many people ask me why I did the big Krampus. Why just Krampus on your back? It's like, if you paid any attention to my content over even just the last couple of years, let alone at all, like the last decade, I've always worn these Krampus sweaters with these giant Krampus faces on the front or the back of them. And it really should have been obvious to anyone that was even vaguely interested in this project. And if you're not, I really question why the fuck you're commenting. Like, if you don't have any interest in the thing, why are you giving it focus? Why are you giving it time? That is a big thing that I don't understand about people these days, putting mental energy towards things that they will no way enrich their life or any part of their time or has anything to do with it, what they like. It doesn't make any sense because I don't follow anything. I don't watch or consume anything that I don't in some way feel inclined to. So other than, say, politics, where my politics are very mixed. I am in some ways right and in some ways left-minded person, and so I follow all kinds of political stuff so I don't get echo chambered. But when it comes to my hobbies, my interests, and the things I do for fun or because I like them, those kinds of things, I don't follow things that will actively infuriate me, and I don't go out of my way to find them either. And when I do, I certainly don't waste time engaging with them, because that will ensure that I get more of them. That's how algorithms work. So I really don't understand the sense of being a prospective human lashing out on random shit they don't like online, because it just ensures you're going to get more of it. So then the only person that I would feel would be logical to interact with content would be people that are either interested in learning about it or have already learned about it, and that's why they like it. And I would encourage people to surround themselves with more of their passions and less of the things that anger them. I feel like most people's feeds are just full of rage bait and viral nonsense that will rot their brains. The amount of people who just stare at TikTok all day long. I have a TikTok account. I follow nothing. I make content, get the fuck off of there because it's trash. It's garbage. I feel the same way about Instagram Reels. Yes, I make them. I make them and profit from them. But in terms of the content that's in there, most of the times there's a lot worse lower brow content than what I'm putting out. At least what I'm putting out on a daily basis has some sort of a message to it. It's not just reckless destruction and fucking chaos and hate and yeah. I would encourage people to follow more things they're genuinely interested in rather than whatever the fuck TikTok is feeding you to make you react that day. Anyway, I just wanted to talk a little about the Christmas part of this because, and I already did a Christmas or Krampus back piece meaning video, so I don't need to recover it fully. But for anyone who didn't watch that video, and let's be honest, if they didn't watch that video, they're probably not this far into this one either. But there's a whole lot of meaning, and way more meaning to this piece than there was my first back piece. And it's a very logical thing. Like, if you're going to put any tattoo on you, really all that matters is that you like the look of it to some degree, and it's in a style you like or whatever. We can make meaning out of anything, though. So, and it doesn't always have to make sense to anyone else. But my tattoos are not the most meaningless. They probably have more meaning than most people's tattoos because I actually enjoy the ritual of this and having them done. The subject matter then just becomes, okay, what do I do with that? What do I do with that energy, that creation, right? What do I do with that passion? Something that I kind of like or something that I really like? And that's all that it really needs to be. You're not getting that lion for your grandfather. Your grandfather doesn't give a fuck. You're getting the lion because you want it. Stop giving yourself these stupid justifications. You can have kind of fun reasons and little stories about why you got things. That's much more honest than saying that it's for some fucking dead loved one that probably doesn't even want you to have the fucking thing. No one else really gives a fuck about what's on your body, or they shouldn't, right? Like, no one that I know is like, man, Remy, I really wish you got a lion instead of a Krampus. That's really only just weirdos online. No one really cares that much what you're getting the way that you think they would. You don't need to justify yourself that way. It's cool if you have your little story, but understand that that's just for you. No one else really cares or will understand that lion is for your fucking granddad. And even granddad probably doesn't care. So, anyway, I will be talking to you guys again here in a few days when I have my next session on my inner arm area there. And then I got one more session with Terry before our Christmas break here, and it's just going to kind of be a little bit of a brush up on certain things. And yeah, so yeah, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.